Hi, welcome to the LGBTQ review with me, James, and this is Beth, and we're going to do some suggestions for books that are LGBTQIA plus content. Beth is just going to do them. I'm going to talk to Beth about them because I don't read as much as she does, and it will just be me sweating about not having read much. So this seems better.
Loveless by Alice Oseman.
From the book cover, we don't have to make a game, but it does look like young adult, if I had to guess.
Well, it's set at university, so I don't know if I guess it's new adult, which is a genre that never existed, like never took off, and yet these books are selling. So I don't know. It seems like they maybe do exist. So the cover, I was always a little embarrassed about reading it because it looks like well, firstly, it looks sad. It looks like a romance cover that's gone wrong. Like it's not a great thing to be reading.
It looks like it looks like half of the cover for like Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, you know, like looking at those.
Yeah. Georgia has never been in love, never kissed anyone, never had a crush, but as a fanfic-obsessed romantic, she's sure she'll find her person one day. As she starts university, Georgia makes a plan to find love, but when her actions wreak havoc, I've never seen the word wreak written down before. How do you think it's spelled?
R-E-E-K?
That's what I would say. It's W-R-E-A-K.
No.
Madness. But when her actions wreak havoc among her friends, she questions why romance seems to be so easy for other people, yet not for her. With new terms thrown at her, asexual, aromantic, Georgia is more uncertain about her feelings than ever. Is she destined to remain loveless? Or has she been looking for the wrong thing all along?
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's really good. So the main character is like asexual, aromantic, and there's loads of great representation in it. So there's a pansexual, asexual in there as well, and her best friend is a lesbian, and there's other representation that would spoil it.
Cool. Do you know anything about the author? Have they done anything else?
Yeah, so she's written other books called Solitaire, Radio Silence, I Was Born for This, Nick and Charlie, and she's got a new one coming out. It's called This Winter. I've read all of them. They're all very good. I enjoy them very much. She also does these comics at Heartstopper, which I definitely suggested last time, but this is volume 3 and only volume 1 and 2 had come out last time. It's great. It's about 2 teenage boys who fall in love in that.
What do you have next?
Girl, Woman, Other by Bernadine Evaristo. I think everybody will be recommending this book because it won the Booker Prize. Is it the Booker Prize it won?
2019, yeah.
It's so good. I can't describe how good it is. Every chapter is a different character. It's all women and non-binary people of colour. There are no full stops, so looking at the page is a bit daunting. And some people really don't like it because there's no full stops at all, but I actually find it a much easier way of reading. I think dyslexic people have found it really positive, like a really positive reading experience. Great. I think it's also worked really well for pacing. Great. Lots of queer characters. There's a non-binary character. So it all centres around this one play that is going on. And then there's all these different people from all these different places. But in every character, it goes back through their parents and their grandparents as well. So it's got such a massive time span and cultural span and geographical span. It's super interesting.
Do you know any of her other work? Is that her first book? Or
it is not. She's done loads of books. On the back of here it says Mr. Loverman and The Emperor's Babe, but I think she's done even more books than that. She's quite into her career. I think she also teaches and stuff. Next, I don't have because I listen to them, but is An Absolutely Remarkable Thing and its sequel, A Beautifully Foolish Endeavour by Hank Green. Actually, that's sort of new adult as well because that's past teenage, early 20s. It's sort of sci-fi-ish. But if you don't like sci-fi, I wouldn't let you put that up at all because I don't like sci-fi. Although saying that, I do keep reading them, but I don't think I do like them that much. I'd rather read literary fiction. I don't want to put myself in a box, but if you don't like sci-fi, I think it's fine. It's not very sci-fi. I'll tell you the premise, right? It's great. I didn't think it was going to be very good. Actually, I'll tell you about the author first. So Hank Green, do you know who he is? So he's one of the Green brothers. So the Green brothers were at the forefront of YouTube when that came to be a thing. They're the Vlog Brothers, and they do Crash Course, and they do loads of other things. And his brother John is like quite a famous author who does young adult fiction. So he wrote Paper Towns and Fault in Our Stars, and all of those that became films and stuff. And he's great too. I like him also. But then Hank, this is his first book, was an absolutely remarkable thing. And that's what it's called. And also, it is an absolutely remarkable thing. It follows I can't remember what she's called, but this main character who's by basically these massive they're like transformers. They look like big robot samurai transformers. And people think they're sculptures, just appear overnight all around the world, like in cities and things. And nobody knows what they are or what they're made of. And it's like no material that anybody's ever seen before. So they assume that they're like an art thing. And then the story goes from there. And it's so good. And there's loads of representation in it. And it's like it's like page turner. It's just really good and like fun and intriguing.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Creeping Expansion, issue 1.
Ah.
Some of it's a bit gay. It's an anthology of short fiction and poetry by working class writers.
You obviously started this amazing project. Why did you start it?
I didn't feel like there was anywhere that was showcasing fiction by working class writers, and that also offered like money. Like it's not very much money, but just money at all. So yeah, that's why I started it. And the response I've had has been incredible.
But I mean, you did like a successful crowdfunder as well, which is like, to me, just the most important thing ever. This seems such a uphill struggle to get any funding, especially in that form.
Yeah, it was really tough getting funding. Also, it was a very strange time to try and get anything funded because we were in lockdown, we were in a pandemic. Yeah, it's a really weird time to do that.
But yeah, I mean, that kind of like brings it full circle with what we're usually talking about in these reviews, which is just, yeah, there's so much talent, and these writers in this issue are amazing. It's just like, just give them some money and some opportunity, and you'd just be amazed at what would happen. I'm
really proud that you see such a varied experience within the anthology, which is cool. And there's like some queer pieces, yeah, it's good. I'm proud of it.
Yeah, you should be. It's great. And I'd recommend, I got to read after you selected them, I got to read it before it was released, and just great stuff. Really good. Highly recommend.
I got one more. On Earth, We're Briefly Gorgeous, and it's by Ocean Vuong, and it's really good. It's the debut novel by the Vietnamese American poet, written in the form of letters from him to his mother, based around him. It's not like the true story, but it's like based around him. So it's like the Vietnamese American experience, and it's non-linear, and he's like a queer character in it, and yeah, like really interesting. And there's a perspective that we don't often get to.
When was it? When and when was it released? Is it modern day?
Yes. Well, he starts from his like childhood, and also he writes about his mother and his grandmother and their lives. So I guess it's like 3 generations. But yeah, the end is modern day, and he's quite young. I think he's like 30, 31. So those were my book recommendations. If you have any book recommendations that include queer stories or just not, I like reading everything. I don't really like reading fantasy, but I mean, if you recommend it, I will feel obliged, so I'll do it anyway. Please leave them in the comments below, because I never know what to read when I get past my reading list. Thanks for watching, and click like and subscribe to get all of our new videos and updates. You can follow us at the LGBTQ_review on Twitter. Goodbye.
Goodbye.